Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. So in this class we will start off our class, that is 70th lecture, with acts for protecting coastal environment and wetlands. Okay, so under this first topic is coastal regulation region, that is zone, that is CRZ. So the coastal stretches of seas, bays, estuaries, creeks, river and backwater which are influenced by tidal actions are declared coastal regulation zones in 1991. India has created institutional mechanisms such as National Coastal Zone Management Authority, that is NCZMA, and State Coastal Zone Management Authority, that is SCZMA, for enforcement and monitoring of the CRZ notification. These authorities have delegated powers under Section 5 of the Environmental Protection Act 1986 to take various measures for protecting and improving the quality of the coastal environment and preventing, abating and controlling environmental pollution in the coastal areas. Okay, now let's go to second subheading, that is wetlands rules 2010. So basically it is wetlands conservation and management rules 2010, or we can just say it wetlands rule. So MOEF has notified the rules in order to ensure that there is no further degradation of wetlands. The rules specify activities which are harmful to wetlands such as industrialization, construction, dumping of untreated waste and reclamation, and prohibit these activities in the wetlands. Other activities such as harvesting and dredging may be carried out in wetlands but only with the prior permission of the concerned authority. Under the rules, wetlands have been classified for better management and easier identification. Central Wetland Regulatory Authority has been set up to ensure proper implementation of the rules. Okay. Third, Animal Welfare Board of India. So statutory advisory body advising the Government of India on animal welfare laws and promote animal welfare in the countries of India. It works to ensure that animal welfare laws in the country are followed, provides grant to the animal welfare organization, and considers itself the face of animal welfare movement in the country. It was established in 1960 under Section 4 of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Well-known humanitarian Rukmani Devi Arundale was instrumental in setting up the code. The subject of prevention of cruelty to animal is under MOEF. Okay, now let me tell you the function of this. So the board is highly concerned about the abuse of animal in research and cruelty involved when animals were used in entertainments. The board oversees animal welfare organization, that is AWO, by granting recognition to them if they meet its guideline. The board provides financial assistance to recognized animal welfare organization. Okay, the board also suggests changes to the laws and rules about animal welfare issue. The board issues publication to raise awareness of various animal welfare issues. Okay, and Indian government has also started some conservation projects for individual endangered species like hungal, lion, tiger, crocodiles, okay, brown antlered deer and elephant. Okay, and these are given just in our next topics. Okay, so fourth one is Project Tiger. So by the name itself you can make out that this is for the tiger conservation. So Indian tiger population at the end of 20th century was estimated at 20,000 to 40,000 individuals. The first countrywide tiger census conducted in 1972 estimated the population to comprise a little more than 1,800 individuals, an alarming reduction in tiger population. In 1973, Project Tiger was launched in Palamau Tiger Reserves, and various tiger reserves were created in the country based on coal buffer strategy. India has more than 80 national parks and 441 sanctuaries, of which some have been declared as tiger reserve. Tiger reserve are governed by the Project Tiger 1973. It is a centrally sponsored scheme of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, that is MOEF. It is administered by National Tiger Conservation Authority. The aim of this project is to protect the tiger from extinction by ensuring a viable population in their natural habitat. Government has set up Tiger Protection Force under PT to combat the poachers. PT allocation fund to villages to minimize the human-tiger conflict. Now let us see about core and buffer zone. So the tiger reserves are constituted on a core buffer strategy. So let us first study the core zone. So the core area is kept free of biotic disturbances and forestry operation, where collection of minor forest produce, grazing, human disturbance are not allowed within. These areas are required to be kept for the purposes of tiger conservation without affecting the rights of scheduled tribe or such any other forest dweller. These areas are notified by the state government in consultation with an expert committee. Okay. So this was about the core zone. Now let us study about the buffer zone. The Act defines buffer zone as the area peripheral to the critical tiger habitat or core area providing supplementary habitat for dispersing tiger, besides offering scope for coexistence of human activity, that is tribal. The limit of such areas are determined with the concerned Gram Sabha and an expert committee constituted for the purpose. Okay, now let's see what is Tiger Task Force. So the implementation of Project Tiger over the year has highlighted the need for a statutory authority with a legal backing to ensure tiger conservation. On the basis of the recommendation of National Board for Wildlife, a task force was set up to look into the problems of tiger conservation in the country. The recommendation of the task force include strengthening of Project Tiger by giving it statutory and administrative powers. Okay. Now let's see that what is NTCA. This is National Tiger Conservation Authority. So the National Tiger Conservation Authority was established in December 2005 following the recommendation of the Tiger Task Force. National Tiger Conservation Authority administers Project Tiger. Administration of the tiger reserves will be in accordance with the guidelines of NTCA. Tiger reserves in India are administered by field directors as mandated by NTCA. No alteration in the boundaries of the tiger reserve shall be made except on recommendation of the NTCA and the approval of the National Board for Wildlife. No state government shall denotify the tiger reserve except in public interest with the approval of the NTCA and the approval of the National Board for Wildlife. Now let us study about the fifth one. Fifth is the Wildlife Amendment Act 2006. So the Act provides for creating National Tiger Conservation Authority, Tiger and other endangered species crime control bureau. Okay, now let's see who are the NTCA members. So the Wildlife Protection Amendment Act 2016 provides a constitution for National Tiger Conservation Authority. NTCA was set up under the chairmanship of the Ministry of Environment and Forest. The authority will have 8 experts having qualifications in wildlife conservation and welfare, tribals, 3 MP, and the Inspectors of General Forest in charge of Project Tiger will be ex officio member secretary. Now let's see about its function. So the authority lays down standards guideline for tiger conservation in the tiger reserve, national parks and sanctuary. It will provide information on protection measures including future plans for conservation. The authority would facilitate and support tiger reserve management in the state through eco-development and people's participation. The Tiger Conservation Authority would be required to prepare an annual report which would be laid in the Parliament along with the audit report. Provision will be made for the state to establish a Tiger Conservation Foundation based on the good practices emanating some of the tiger reserves. So this was all for this class. In the next class we will continue from here. Thank you guys for watching. We'll meet you in the next class.